Hey there, it's Elena Bear, and today I'm going to be turning this random pile of scraps of paper into this. This is a very, very girly little princess card that is perfect for a little girl of all ages, really. This particular one I'm going to be giving to a girl who's turning 3. This card is really different, it's unique, the shape is really fun and unusual, and the little girl that you give this to is sure to love it if she loves princesses and castles and girly sparkly things. So if you want to see how I made it, then just keep watching. I found these two images on Pinterest. One is of a castle kind of card, and then the other is princess dresses. And I'm going to kind of combine the two. So I'm going to make this castle. So instead of just a circle with the age inside, I'm going to make one of these princess dresses and put that inside, because I think that would look cute if it looks like there's a princess inside the castle. This card is very elaborate, and I think I'm going to scale it down a little bit just so that it doesn't take hours and hours to make. But I think she's going to absolutely love it, especially because she can't read anything yet, so the words on the inside don't really matter to her nearly as much as what it looks like on the outside. So let's go ahead and get started with this very girly princess card. Okay, the first thing I need to make is the base. So let's take off all of this stuff. I pulled out scraps of paper that I thought would work for this card, and I eyeballed it and stuck them all on top of each other. Okay, so this is going to be the base of my card. Now this one is a lot different than my other cards that I've made before. If you've never seen a card making video of mine, you should go check out the first one where I explain the basics of what materials you need to make homemade cards. And also, feel free to check out any of the other card making tutorials I have up. So instead of having a card that's, like folded in half like this, we're going to be doing something a little different. So all I need is just one piece of paper as the base of my card. And I want it to be 5 inches wide because that is the size of my envelope. So I want it to fit in the envelope. So I'm just using a pencil to kind of mark approximately where 5 inches is. And then we're going to do 7 inches this way. Okay, now I'm going to use this paper cutter to get really nice straight lines. And we don't need this. I'm going to put this aside and use it for some other future project. It's better to have it a little smaller than too big. There's the base of the card. Now the next thing is going to be, I'm going to use this blue paper as the sky. So I'm going to have the blue paper up here. This is going to be where I write my message. So there's going to be something there. I'm going to use a sparkly paper for the top. And since this one is more complicated, I'm like having issues explaining what I'm doing. So just watch and see. Using these scallop shaped scissors. Kind of give this a little bit of a whimsical effect. So that's going to go there. That's where I'll write my birthday message. And I'm going to cut the sky. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this blue piece down. And there's so many fancy craft glues and paper glues, but I always keep coming back to good old Elmer's glue. If you're using thinner paper than I am, if you're not using cardstock like this, then the Elmer's glue will definitely make your paper all wrinkly and it won't have a very nice effect. But this thick cardstock is not going to wrinkle up and look weird if you use regular glue like this. And I'm just going to make a cloud really quickly to make it obvious that that's the sky. If you get too perfectionistic about this, you will spend hours and hours on one little part of your card, and then you'll realize you still have way too much to do and you'll get overwhelmed. So you can't be too picky. And I'm really just trying to preach to myself here because I have spent literally hours and hours on a single card before, and that's not just happened once. So that's going to go somewhere there. I'm not sure yet, so I'm not going to glue it. Do not glue things until you're sure of where they're going to go, you guys. It's just asking for trouble. So this one, it's going to be, I don't even know what this is called. One of those things where it's like, whatever that shape is called. And if you remember from elementary school when you were making hearts, you can always fold your paper in half just so that you can ensure symmetry. I don't know if you guys did that when you were little and you were like making hearts. And I guess I did that in school. I don't know. But I just remember like you fold your little thing in half and then you cut out the heart, and that way it's like equal on both sides. Something like that. And then I'm going to use this sparkly silver. I'm going to flip it over. I always like to try to draw on the opposite side that I'm using if possible. Sometimes that's not possible, but it just makes it easier so that if I'm sketching and I mess up, I'm not going to have to try to erase it or cover up the pencil marks. So that's how high I need my peak. So now I'll cut out that triangle. And that is going to go right there. I'm going to go ahead and glue this triangle, this little like bridge looking thing, and the cloud, but I'm not going to glue this white part down yet. And I'll tell you why in a minute. The next part of the process is making the front part of the card, the part that folds. I grabbed this piece of purple paper and I kind of already folded it. So I started with this. I measured my 5 inches across because remember, we don't want it to be wider than 5 inches. And what I want is I want it also folded like this. So I made sure that this top flap is also 5 inches. This one, this little bit right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it underneath the white, and that's how the whole thing's going to be like staying together basically. So it's too tall, so I need to make it shorter. Let's see what height I need it. I want this purple part to be smaller than the white, so I'm gonna just, not even measuring, I'm just making this smaller, just this kind of back flap. Like so, this way I'm gonna glue this down, glue this on top, and then we'll have this whole part that can be folded and opened and closed and all that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to change it from the Pinterest photo a little bit, and I'm just going to make an arch. So I kind of did a rough sketch here. You probably can't see it at all because it's pencil, so I'm going to just kind of gently fold this in half and do what I was saying about that elementary school style of cutting hearts. And I'm going to just cut out an archway, and that's where our princess is going to stand. Alrighty, so now we have our archway. So inside this flap, I'm going to use this sparkly paper to make a princess dress, and she's going to be standing right there. I'm going to do kind of a little overlay on the dress that says the number 3 because it's her 3rd birthday. Now instead of this background just being plain purple, I found this purple with some little sparkly flowers on it, so all I'm going to do is cover this plain purple with this sparkly one. So I'm just going to measure out the size. This paper is kind of like really soft, almost like fabric, and it is such a pain to cut. Now actually, while I'm at this, I know it seems like I'm all over the place, but sometimes there is no step 1, step 2, step 3. You kind of just like figure out which pieces fit where, and you might get to a point in your card and you think you're about to make your princess dress, but you're like, nope, instead I'm gonna make some turrets. So let's just take a break from that whole dress thing, and I'm going to make a couple turret looking things, and they'll be identical, so I'll just make them the same size. Just gonna fold it in half, and that's how I know that they're exactly the same size. There. So actually, before this glue dries, I'm gonna try to stick these in here. And if the glue had dried already, I could just glue them to the back of this or something. It wouldn't be a total disaster. Now on the top of those little turrets, I'm going to put this kind of just flowery paper. I'm just going for as many patterns as possible, okay? Because it's a 3-year-old, so just color and patterns and fun things. That's all she cares about. Alright, so I'm gonna draw on this white side. And what I'm doing is the same thing as this, just a little triangle. There we go. I'm actually going to trace this one to make sure that the other one is exactly the same. So I'll go ahead and glue this guy. Okay, there are my 2 turrets. Now I'm going to move back to princess dress. Let's see how tall we can make it. So I'm going to flip it over so that I don't make any mistakes on the pretty side of the paper. And I'm just kind of freehanding this, but you can feel free to print a photo from the internet or trace a photo if you're not comfortable with just freehand drawing stuff. Okay, so that's the general idea. So now I'm going to cut this out. Beware that when you use glitter paper, there will be glitter everywhere. This is another one of those things that I could just spend forever perfecting. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put sort of a skirt thing over top of it to write the number 3. So there's kind of, I don't know, it almost looks like an apron, but just like a little thing over the skirt. And I'm going to... Okay, so I was planning to practice writing the number 3 on the back of the apron, and then I was gonna flip it over and do it for real. But I don't know if you can tell, but it's like see-through. So yeah, kind of just ruined this piece of paper. And I don't think I'm gonna cut out another one. I think I'm just gonna make this work as the thing. So I'm gonna have to erase these pencil marks that I have on here. But you know what? At least now I don't have to do anything on the other side, and I can just use that. But let me, since I was doing this as a practice, I wasn't being very careful. So now I need to like go back and make it a little bit prettier. Alright, there we go, no problem. So now I'll glue this little apron-y thingy onto the dress. I realize princesses probably don't wear aprons, but had to have some way of showing the number. And we don't have to call it an apron. We can call it, I don't know, a pinafore or something. This might be a little bit difficult to glue down just because I'm gluing it onto glitter paper. And glitter doesn't like having anything on top of it. It doesn't like being outshone. I'm going to use this paper I used for the turrets, and over top of it I'm going to glue white paper that's going to say happy birthday. Actually, why don't I just go pink on pink on pink? This is for a 3-year-old girl, okay? So let's just, it'll be like pink explosion. Not because I'm being like gender stereotypes, but honestly, this little girl loves pink and purple and princesses all the way. So I'm certainly not like forcing this on her at all. Finally, that took like 5 tries to get the right size. So if you finish writing whatever you wanted to write and there's extra paper, just cut off the excess. Alright, now I can glue this on. So apparently the ink wasn't dry when I put this on, so now you can see it's got smudges and fingerprints all over it. So I'm going to try to take this off, and even if it doesn't come off cleanly, that's okay. What I'm going to do is just glue another piece over top of that one. It's a pain, but it's not a huge problem. Take 2. It's gluing down the little happy birthday message. I'm not going to use my inky fingertips this time. Now I think I want to just add a little more glitz to this. So I'm going to cover these purple columns. I think I'll just do like a strip of this hot pink sparkly color, maybe down the center of these, just to give them a little something something. I just want this card to be like an explosion of like happy princess stuff. Okay, so here is my super girly princess card. I like the little sparkly flowers in the background there, so it's not just plain. Glad I decided to add that. And then if you open it this way, that's where the like actual birthday message is going to go. It's definitely elaborate, but what's cool about this is you can like customize it to whatever little girl you're making a card for. You can use her favorite colors, and you know, inside the archway you don't have to do a princess dress necessarily. It could be anything, and then just, you know, write whatever their age is. It's a unique shape. You know, most people haven't seen cards like this or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it, and let me know if you have any requests for any cards that you want me to make in the future. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!